back to Weekly Guitar Videos, everybody. Today, I'll be doing a little demo on the TC Electronic Hall of Fame 2 reverb. So, I just picked this guy up, still kind of working through it, so this will be an initial impressions type video. But I really liked the original Hall of Fame, and this has just, they've improved ever so slightly on it. So, some updated things. TC Electronic is kind of renowned for their Toneprint software. So you can, I don't actually have the app or anything for it yet, but you can, from your guitar's pickup, beam sounds in from their Toneprint app that you can then select on this little selector down here. These last 3 spots on this rotary knob are Toneprint slots. So that's a really cool thing. You basically have infinite possibilities with your reverb sounds. And all the stock ones are really great too, so I think I might run through some of those now. The what I started out on was the room reverb, and that's that. Sounds a whole lot like you're in a room, you know? With a little bit of size to it, and you can kind of bring up the decay a little bit and you're in a bigger room. But it's very reflective. You can kind of hear it reflecting off of things. They've kind of simulated that because it is a digital reverb. Analog reverb is kind of hard to do. So we're going over to the hall setting here, and this is a big, spacious hall reverb. I really like it for volume swells. Trails on forever like you're in a big concert hall. And I think they actually have a tone print that is Carnegie Hall. You can get that reverb sound that Carnegie Hall is kind of famous for. You know, whatever they did to simulate that. A little video I watched on it looked really cool. So possibly in future videos I'll run through the Toneprint software, but let's just keep moving through sounds. It's got a pretty decent spring reverb. It's really hard to do spring reverb too well, but we'll, you know. So, it's a pretty convincing spring reverb. Not a lot of people will notice at a gig, but let's see how surfy it can get. I haven't actually tried this setting yet. We'll get it nice and bright. And, you know. So that's actually a little artificial sounding, but still not that bad. Maybe a little. Yeah. Definitely a cool sound, but I wouldn't say it's too faithful a reproduction of a spring reverb. So, little knock on that. You have the classic plate reverb sound. I'll get a little of that in. And this one's really, it really shines with some dirt. So I'll kick on a little drive for this one, and you know. Just the way it sits with drive, it doesn't get too muddy. Also a really good sound. Head on over to the church reverb. Sounds like you're playing in, you guessed it, a big old church. also a really nice sound. Now here's a new addition to this pedal, actually, the Shimmer Reverb, which gives you up an octave up type sound. And it can get really pretty, so do my best to play it pretty for you. And then it can get real eerie with minor key stuff. So. So definitely a handful. That one's really neat to me. Moving on, we have the Modulated Reverb, which can get super awesome. Let's give a little snippet of that. So basically add some chorusing to your reverb tail. And there's actually a tone print that I'll get to here in a minute that sounds like they've added a little flange into a modulated reverb, and that's a really cool sound. Moving on, we have the lo-fi reverb. And this one is pretty cool to me because it's just downright gritty and nasty. So. And yeah, this is a really fun one to use with drive too, so we'll gain it up a little more for you guys. That's a cool one. I really enjoy that. So now getting into the tone print aspect of it, like I said, I basically just took this thing out of the box, so I'm not super familiar, but let's hear Toneprint slot number 1. So that's another different shimmer, that octave up. And oh, it sounds like they throw in some different intervals in there, not just a full octave up, maybe a fifth or a third. That one might sound really neat with some delay. I'm gonna throw some of the old tonal recall on there. Let's see. Get a little more mix on that guy. Now that's a sound I could use. Moving on, it's your second Toneprint slot. And just a little FYI, the original Hall of Fame only had one Toneprint slot. So now you got 3 to dial in whatever sounds you like. Yeah, so here's the modulated reverb I was telling you about. And if you listen to the tail on it, it sounds like there's some flanger on there. And that's a pretty cool sound. And I'm pretty sure this third Toneprint slot is empty. So yeah, you can load in whatever you want from that. Now, they have a new thing on this version of it called the mash switch. Mash switch, that's a hard one to say. Anyway, and it's basically your foot switch you can use as an onboard expression pedal. I haven't figured out exactly how that works yet, so maybe I'll do another video on the Toneprint and the mash side of it and see how that goes. But man, I am really liking this thing. I have kind of I've always really liked reverb, and a lot of reverb pedals sound really sterile to me. This one, on the other hand, is pretty lively. I complained about the spring setting a little bit, but I'm so used to actual spring reverb in an amp that I can let that one go for how many other great sounds so that it has. So I'll just play around a little more. Maybe bring it back down to the hall mode. Bring the level down, decay up a little bit. Get it nice and dark here. Ooh, now that gives you a nice little pad underneath what you play. So, anyway, this has been the Hall of Fame 2 from TC Electronic. I'm Neil with Weekly Guitar Videos. We'll see you next time.